The race is off to a thrilling start. Serious Guy and Just Jezik are taking the lead with their impressive early pace. Kenka Main 704 and Nukembukim are closely trailing, demonstrating some solid teamwork. Meanwhile, Okiyoki 3 and X Figgy are in striking distance, ready to pounce if any opportunity arises. The tension is palpable. Let's see how this unfolds. Rizaldi Adha, Maya, Okayoki 3, and Ixigi are currently locked in a tight battle for power, with positions constantly shifting as they jostle for speed. Meanwhile, Hugged 3 and Issy 1212 have successfully moved up to Pate, overtaking both Grenajib and Nominok Nuke Knight, who are now in P9. In that position, Grenajib and Nominok Nuke Knight, piloting a Chevrolet Corvair, are facing pressure from Zygo 22 and Cat TV, who are driving a Porsche 904 and looking to reclaim their spot in the race as they fight for P9. The dynamics are heating up. Currently, Okayoki 3 and Xfiggy are in P3 after a successful overtake. The man has regained power, managing to pass both Wozirius Guy and Just Jezik. Now, there's a tight battle for power, with the man in an Alpine A110 1800s, while Wozirius Guy and Just Jezik are driving a Fiat X199 Dallara. The dynamics are heating up as they jockey for position. Currently, Okayoki 3 has moved up to P2 after successfully overtaking Kamikaze 38 and Elba. The battle for 5 is heating up as the man in the Alpine A110 1800s is closely contesting with Rizaldi Adha and Maya, who are both in a Holden Monoro 73. Meanwhile, there's an intense fight for P9 involving Grenajib and Nominok Nuke Knight in a Chevrolet Corvair against Sago 22 and Cat TV in a Porsche 904. The dynamics of the race are shifting rapidly as these drivers push their limits. Bobato has successfully moved up to P9, executing a clean overtake on both Zygo 22 and Cat TV Toy. In the battle for P11, Grenajib in a Chevrolet Corvair and Nominok Nuke Knight are closely followed by Nira Sol and Aminsan, who are piloting a Shelby GT 350. The competition is tight as they jockey for position. Meanwhile, Snaku 515 and Iniska in their Porsche 904s are engaged with Gary No Name in a Ferrari 275 GTBC, all vying for P18. The dynamics in these groups are intensifying as the race progresses. Daiho 22 and Cat TV have successfully moved into P9 after overtaking Bobardo, who is now in 10. The battle for P9 is heating up as Zygo 22 and Cat TV are driving a Porsche 904 while Bobardo, representing Team Blast, is in a Shelby GT 350. In the meantime, Snooker 515 and Iniesta have advanced to P10 by overtaking Gary No Name, who drops back to P19. Bobardo is currently in P9, holding off a fierce challenge from both Zagoda 22 and Cat TV, who are also vying for that position while driving the Porsche 904s. As they race closely, Mirasol and Amundsen are right behind them, in the other Shelby GT 350, pushing hard for Pedanutstedt. In the meantime, Wayne Trey 94 and Sabinet 27 have successfully moved up to P12 after overtaking Captain Potato and Paradox.Tool. The race remains highly competitive, with multiple battles happening simultaneously across the field. Pierre Petuum and 1999 September in the Chrysler Valiant Charger have engaged in a tight battle for position with Greninja and Nominal Knupnight in the Chevrolet Corvair. As they head into the final turn, Pierre Petuum makes a strategic move on 1999 September, taking the inside line. At the same time, Greninja tries to slipstream off the Charger, gaining speed as they approach the straightaway. Entering the straight, Nominal Knupnight attempts an overtake on both of them, looking to capitalize on any mistake. The two chargers are neck and neck, but it appears that Pierre Petuum has managed to gain a slight edge over 1999 September. Meanwhile, Greninja is right on their tail, ready to pounce if any opportunity arises. The tension builds as they approach the next corner, with all four drivers pushing their machines to the limit for that coveted 15th position. The race has kicked off with Tenkomainen 704 and Luke Kambakum leading the charge. They're neck and neck down the first straightaway, showing some impressive speed. Okiyoki 3 next Thiggy are hot on their tails, just inches apart. It's a tight pack already, can't count out one serious guy and just Jizik either, who are looking to make moves from behind. Let's see if any of them can pull off a daring overtake in these early laps. Anonymous Ninity 3 has taken the inside line on turn 5, making a bold move to overtake Sir Ironbot and securing P21. Sir Ironbot is now trying to counterattack, but is held up by Duff Dad, who is maintaining a tight defensive line. F40 is lurking just behind, ready to capitalize on any mistakes. The positioning is tight as they approach turn 7, with all 4 cars packed closely together, creating a tense situation for P21 Boy. The battle for Pate intensifies as Hugger3 and Isioni 1212 in their Ford Mustang GT are neck and neck with Zyger 22 and Cat TV in the Porsche 904. Meanwhile, La Croissant 1980 and Eugen 7 have successfully advanced to P13 after overtaking Perpetuum in 1999 Seta. In response, Perpetuum and 1999 Setembro have moved up to 13, passing both Green Ninja and nominal Nuke Knight. The dynamics are shifting quickly as positions are exchanged. La Croissant 1980 and Eugen 7 in their Ford Mustang GT are currently neck and neck with Grenadier and nominal Nuke Knight, who are piloting a Chevrolet Corvair. They are engaged in a tight battle for 13th position. La Croissant 1980 is attempting to take the inside line, while Eugen 7 is keeping a close watch on Grenadier's movements. Grenadier tries to make a move on the outside, but is blocked off by La Croissant 1980. The tension is palpable as they jostle for track position, and it looks like they're all waiting for an opportunity to overtake as they approach a sharp turn. Hey there, Apex and Isle Marcel. Welcome back to the racetrack. Checkered flag, hope you're ready for some high-speed AI action. Let's see who'll take the checker flag today. Party pop out. Automobile dashing away. Just moments ago, Waziri Sky and Just Jazik have successfully moved into P2, executing a precise overtake on both Okayoke 3 and Xfiggy. Meanwhile, in the mid-pack, Greninja and Nominal Nuke Knight have climbed to P13 by overtaking Lacrosse 1 1980 and Eugen 7. Additionally, Snicker 515 and Iniska have advanced to 17, after getting past Captain Potato and Paradox de Tolkiening. The competition is tightening as positions shift across the track. La Croissant 1980 and the Eugen 7 have made significant progress, advancing to P13 after successfully overtaking Green Egypt and nominal Nuke Knight. Meanwhile, there's an intense battle for 17 between Snicker 515 and Iniska in their Porsche 904, and Captain Potato and Paradox in a Ford Falcon 71. Keeping tabs on these positions as the race dynamics shift, Holocaustinine and Amy have successfully moved into 5 after an overtake. Casishogun and Cydric are actively closing in on Zygo 22 and Cat TV, reducing the gap by 2.5 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as we see more aggressive positioning from the mid-pack competitors. Green Ninja and Nominal Knight in the Chevrolet Corvair are currently neck and neck, fiercely battling with Perpetuum and 1999 September in the Chrysler Valiant Charger for P13. Green Yeb attempts to make a move on the inside, but Nominal Knight holds firm on the racing line. Here Perpetuum is trying to capitalize on any mistake, closing the gap behind them. 1999 September is maintaining a steady pace, awaiting an opportunity to overtake. The tension is palpable as they enter the next corner. Holocaustinine is gaining ground on Kamikaze 38 and Edelbach, reducing the gap by 3.6 seconds. As they approach a tight turn, it will be interesting to see if he can execute an overtake. The dynamics of this race are shifting as the competition heats up among these three drivers. Haha, sounds like there's some serious competition going on. I love the banter. Who are you guys rooting for to take the win? Smiling face, with smiling eyes checkered flag. Currently, Granger and Nominal Knight have successfully moved into P13, overtaking Perpetuum and 1999 September at Wasted. The battle for P13 is now intensifying as Green Ninja and Nominal Knight in their Chevrolet Corvair are closely pursued by Perpetuum and 1999 September in a Chrysler Valiant Charger. The dynamics between these two teams are crucial as they jostle for position on the track. Greenijep and Nominal Knight have successfully moved up to P13, overtaking Perpetuum and 1999 September. There is now an intense battle for that position, with Greenijep and Nominal Knight in their Chevrolet Corvair, facing off against Perpetuum and 1999 September in a Chrysler Valiant Charger. The competition is tight as they jockey for position on the track. As we continue to observe, Patent Tanker and Ship Roman are making significant progress, reducing the gap to Grenin Jeb and nominal Nuke Knight by 2.2 seconds. The dynamics between these competitors are tightening as they strategically navigate the course. With their recent burst of speed, it will be interesting to see if they can complete the overtake on the next straightaway. They go to 22, and Cat TV are gaining on Gary No Name from Team No Name Racing, reducing the gap to 2.3 seconds. Zygo 22 is showing impressive pace as they approach a tight turn, while Cat TV is right on their tail, looking for an opportunity to overtake. Meanwhile, in the mid-pack, driver Alex Stream is attempting a move on Turbotool, but Turbotool holds the inside line, maintaining position. The race continues to be competitive as the drivers jockey for position. Kamikaze 38 and Edelbot are now just 2.3 seconds behind Okayoki 3 and Exigi, significantly narrowing the gap. Kamikaze 38 is pushing hard, showing impressive speed on the straights while Edelbot is maintaining a strong defensive position. Okayoki 3 and Exigi will need to strategize quickly to fend off their challengers. The dynamics are shifting as we approach the next corner. Perpetuum, and 1999 to 9 September. In the Chrysler Valiant Charger, are locked in a tight battle with Green Jib and Nominal Duke Knight in the Chevrolet Corvair for 13th position. The two cars are neck and neck as they approach the first turn, with Perpetuum attempting an inside line while 1999 Settembro holds strong on the outside. Green Jib is looking to capitalize on any mistake, closely trailing behind as the two Chargers jostle for position. As they exit the corner, Perpetuum manages a slight edge over 1999 Settembro, but it's not enough to create a significant gap. Nominal Duke Knight in the Corvair makes a daring move on the inside of 1999 Settembro, taking advantage of the slight opening. This puts them side by side heading into the second corner, leading to a tense moment as both drivers fight for traction. The race dynamics are shifting rapidly, with all four drivers demonstrating impressive skills and determination as they continue to contest for that coveted 13th place. Deuce Jazik and Wazirius Guy have successfully moved into pole, after overtaking Tankerman in 704, and Nukem Bochum. Zygo 22 and Cat TV are currently closing the gap on Gary No Name from Team No Name Racing, reducing the distance by 2.7 seconds. While Agostanin and Amy have successfully moved into P3 after overtaking Tankerman in 704 and Nukem Bochum. Meanwhile, the man has advanced to 5 by overtaking Rizaldi Adha and Maya. Additionally, Rizaldi Adha and Maya have gained positions, now in 6 after overtaking Huggett 3 and Issy 1212. The race is intensifying with these strategic moves. Rizaldi Adha and Maya have successfully moved up to 5, overtaking the competitor from Team Quark Express in a fierce battle. Currently, Rizaldi is driving the Holden Monaro 73, while the man from Team Quark Express is in an Alpine A110 1800s. Meanwhile, there's a tight contest for 15 involving Patton Tanker and Shipbroman in a Jaguar E-Type lightweight, alongside Sniku 515 and Iniska, driving a Porsche 904. The race dynamics are heating up as each driver pushes their limits to gain positions. Captain Potato and Paradox have successfully moved up to 16, executing clean overtakes on Snicker 515 and Iniska. This shift in positions indicates a strong push from both drivers as they aim to gain further ground in the race. Mirasol and Animinsan have encountered issues, dropping back 6 positions to 15. Ubardo is also struggling, falling back to 16 after a similar drop. Meanwhile, Perpetuum and 1999 September have made gains, moving up to P9 by successfully overtaking Grenib and Nominal Knight. Wayne 24 and Sabine 27 are gaining on Bobardo, reducing the gap by 13.4 seconds. Meanwhile, Kazashuk and Sidrek are also making moves, closing in on Zygo 22 and Cat TV with a reduction of 13.1 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as both pairs of cars are showing strong pace. Winzerius Guy and Dustjazik are currently in the lead, but Okayoki 3 and X-Figgy are gaining ground, reducing their gap by 16.4 seconds. Meanwhile, Kazashuk and Sidrek are also making progress, closing in on Zygo 22 and Cat TV with a deficit of 38.7 seconds. The dynamics between these groups indicate potential overtakes if the pace continues. Rizaldi, Adha and Maya have encountered difficulties, dropping back 7 positions to P13. Meanwhile, Le Croissant 1980 and Eus John 7 have made significant gains, moving up to 6 after overtaking Okayoki 3 and X-Figgy. Perpetuum and 1999 Setembro have also advanced, now in Pate after successfully overtaking Kamikaze 38 and Edelbock Dutch. The race dynamics are shifting as these drivers adjust their strategies. That sounds like a strategic move. A late pit stop could really shake things up in the last few laps. Will the Holdens come out swinging after that? Perpetuum and 1999 Setembro are currently neck and neck in their Chrysler Valiant Charger, maintaining 8th position. Right behind them, Kamikaze 38 and Edelbach in the Ford Falcon 72 are putting significant pressure on the duo. As they approach the final corner, it looks like Kamikaze 38 is making a move on the inside line, attempting to overtake. Perpetuum responds with a defensive maneuver, blocking the line effectively. Meanwhile, 1999 Setembro has slightly dropped back, allowing Kamikaze 8 to edge closer. Edelbach appears to be waiting for an opportunity to capitalize on any mistakes made by the leading pair. The tension is palpable as they head down the straight, with all 4 drivers vying for that crucial 8th spot. Overtakes could happen at any moment. Rizaldi, Adha and Maya have successfully advanced to Pen, executing a clean overtake on Huggard 3 and Isio in 12-12. Gary No Name is now in P12 after passing Bobardo from Team Blast. Meanwhile, Bobardo has regained some ground, moving up to P13 by overtaking the Corsa 1980 and Yuzhong 7P. The positions are shifting rapidly as the race continues. Greenyab and Nominok Nuke Knight have successfully moved up to 6. They executed a clean overtake on both Kamikaze 38 and Edelbock in a well-timed maneuver. This positions them strongly as we continue into the next lap. Back at the Stay Soft Sound Dial. Point time. Hugger 3 and ISI 1212 have significantly reduced the gap to Riverside, Adha, and Maya by 2.7 seconds. They are now in close pursuit, with Hugger 3 taking a tighter line through the last corner. This could set up for an overtaking opportunity on the upcoming straight. Meanwhile, Riverside and Maya are defending well, but will need to maintain pace to fend off the challenge. Riverside, Adha, and Maya are making significant progress, reducing the gap to Sniko 115 and Iniska by 2 seconds. The battle for position is intensifying as they push closer to the front. Sniko 515 will need to defend against this growing threat, while Iniska keeps an eye on their rearview mirror. All eyes are on the next few turns to see if Riverside, Adha, and Maya can capitalize on their momentum. Sniko 515 and Iniska have successfully moved into Pate, executing clean overtakes on Riverside, Adha, and Maya. This has pushed Riverside, Adha, and Maya down to P9, after they managed to pass Haypri and Ision 1212. Meanwhile, Hugger 3 and Isioni 1212 have taken advantage of the situation, advancing to Pen by overtaking Patent Tanker and Shipperman Dapda. The positioning is shifting rapidly as cars jockey for better placements. Roboto has successfully moved up to 11 after overtaking Gary No Name. Meanwhile, Saigotai 22 and Cat TV are closing in on Patent Tanker and Shipperman, reducing the gap by 4.8 seconds. The race dynamics are intensifying as these positions shift. Gary No Name is currently holding P12 in his Ferrari 275 GTBC, with La Croissant, 1980, and Hughes John 7, closely trailing in their Ford Mustang GTS. There's a tight battle forming as they approach the hairpin turn. Gary is defending his position well, but Lacroix 1980 makes a move on the inside. They nearly touch but maintain control. US John 7 is looking for an opportunity to capitalize on any mistakes from either driver. The tension is rising as they enter the straightaway. Gary has managed to retain P12 for now, but both Mustangs are pressuring him from behind. Kamikaze 38 and Edelbach are making significant progress, closing in on Okayoka 3 and Xfiggy by 2 seconds. Meanwhile, Rizaldi Adha and Maya are also gaining ground, reducing the gap to Sniku 515 and Iniska by 2.1 seconds. The race dynamics are getting tighter as these pairs push for position. Rizaldi Adha and Maya have successfully moved up to Pate, completing a strategic overtake on both Sniku 515 and Iniska. The maneuver was clean, showcasing precise timing as they navigated through the corner. Their current positions indicate a strong push towards the top of the leaderboard. Waintran in 84 and Sabine 27 have made significant progress, decreasing the gap to Perpetuum in 1999 September by 5.2 seconds. Meanwhile, La Croissant 1980 and Ayus John 7 have successfully overtaken both Perpetuum and 1999 September, moving up to P11. In response, Perpetuum and 1999 September have regained momentum and overtaken Waintran 94 and Sabine 27. Now securing P12 at Ordentuse. The positions are shifting rapidly as the race continues. Kamikaze 38 and Edelbach have significantly increased their pace, reducing the gap to Okayoki 3 and Xfiggy by 2.4 seconds in the last few moments. They're now just behind the leaders, which sets them up for potential overtakes. The dynamics are shifting as they approach the next turn. Let's see if they can maintain this momentum and challenge for position. Tenkamin 704 and Nukembokin have successfully overtaken both Polokostanin and Amy, moving into P2 Duay. The two pairs are now locked in a fierce battle for that position. Currently, Tenkamin 74 and Nukembokin, in their Ford Falcon 72, are holding strong against the Fiat X19 Dallara, driven by Polo Kostanin and Amy. Meanwhile, Okayoki 3 and Ixigi are engaged in a tight contest with Kamikaze 38 and Edelbach for 5. Okayoki 3 and Xfigi are piloting a Holden Monaro 73 while Kamikaze 38 and Edelbach are once again in their Ford Falcon 72. The dynamics are shifting as these teams jockey for position on the track. Katsushuk and Sidrek have significantly narrowed the gap on Zagova 22 and Cat TV, reducing it by 38.9 seconds. Kamikaze 38 and Edelbach are also gaining on Tenkaman 704 and Nukembokum, closing that distance by 2.5 seconds. The dynamics are shifting as we see these pairs getting closer together, indicating potential overtakes in the near future. The last moment saw Tenkamin 704 and Nukembokum gaining significant ground on Polokostanin and Amy. They have closed the gap by 31.8 seconds, indicating a strong push as they approach. The dynamics of the race are shifting, with the two cars now in close pursuit. The tension is building as they enter the next turn, and it will be interesting to see if they can execute an overtake. Captain Potato and Paradox have made significant progress, reducing the gap to Nirasol and Amundsen by 2 seconds. The two cars are now positioned just behind the leaders, showcasing their speed as they approach the next corner. Meanwhile, Nirasol and Amundsen are maintaining their pace but will need to defend their positions as the pressure mounts. The race dynamics are shifting as the chase intensifies. Tenkamin 704 and Nukembokum have successfully moved into P2, executing a clean overtake on both Polokostanin and Amy. Meanwhile, Okayoka 3 and Xfigi have climbed to 5, overtaking the car representing Team Quirk Express. The dynamics are shifting as positions continue to change in the top spots. Target 3 and ISI 1212 are showing impressive pace, reducing the gap to Rizaldi Adha and Maya by 2 seconds. They are gaining momentum and positioning themselves for a potential overtake. Meanwhile, Rizaldi Adha and Maya will need to defend their positions as the pressure builds. The race dynamics are shifting as Hugger 3 and Issy 12-12 continue to close in. Wayne Train 94 and 727 have successfully moved up to P12, overtaking Perpetuum and 1999 Settembro. Ot. The battle for P12 is intensifying as Wayne Train 94 and Savannah 27, in their Shelby GT3 150 continue to push against Perpetuum and 1999 Settembro. In the Cressa Valiant Charger, the two pairs are closely matched with frequent position changes occurring as they jockey for supremacy on the track. Nira Sol and Aminsan have successfully moved up to P13, executing clean overtakes on both Perpetuum and 1999 Settembro. The maneuver was smooth, showcasing their strategic timing and acceleration. The race continues to be competitive as they push further up the field. Naiba and Susanna Greenberg have successfully reduced the gap to Anonymous Ninity 3 and Syrah Ironbot by 2.3 seconds. They are gaining momentum as they approach the next corner, demonstrating good speed through the curves. Meanwhile, Anonymous Ninity 3 seems to be holding steady but will need to defend against the fast-approaching duo. The race dynamics are shifting as we observe this battle for position. Kamikaze 38 and Edelbach are making significant progress, reducing the gap to Tenkamin 704 and Nukembokum by 23 seconds. The two cars are gaining speed and momentum as they approach the leaders. Tenkamin 74 and Nukembokum will need to defend their position as Kamikaze 38 and Edelbach continue to push forward. The dynamics of the race are shifting as we see a potential battle for the lead developing. Okayoki and Xfiggy have successfully reduced the gap to Kamikaze 38 and Edelbach by 2.5 seconds, indicating they are gaining ground. Meanwhile, Kamikaze 38 holds a steady position, but Edelbach is maintaining a tight defensive line. The tension is building as Okayoki and Xfiggy are now just 1.5 seconds behind Edelbach, setting up for potential overtakes in the next few laps. Rizaldi Adha and Maya have successfully moved up to 6, executing an overtake on Huggard 3 and Issy 12-12. Following that, Huggard 3 and Issy 12-12 now occupy 7 after overtaking Lacroix 1980 and Ujeon 7. Meanwhile, La Croissant 1980 and Ujeon 7 have clung to Pate by surpassing Kamikaze 38 and Edelbach Doctor. The positions are tightening as the race progresses. Duff Dad and Air 40 have significantly reduced the gap to Kazishuk and Cydric, now trailing by just 4.7 seconds. The positioning suggests they are gaining momentum as they approach the next corner. Meanwhile, Kazishuk and Cydric appear to be maintaining their pace, but will need to defend against this advancing duo. Overtaking opportunities may arise soon if Duff Dad and Air 40 continue this trajectory. Welcome back, Castle Rat. Castle Rat, hope you're ready to race through some thrills with us. Buckle up. Party popper automobile dashing. Away. Okay. As we continue following the race, Okayoki now holds P2 after successfully overtaking the man. The man has responded by moving back up to P3, overtaking both Polokastanin and Amy, who are now in 4 and 5 respectively. Meanwhile, Tenkaman and 704 and Nukem Bokum are closing in on Amy and Polokastanin, reducing the gap by 4.3 seconds. The dynamics are shifting rapidly as positions change and gaps narrow. Tenkaman 704 and Nukembukem are now just 2 seconds behind Polokastanin and Amy, intensifying the battle for position. The gap is narrowing as they approach the next turn. Tenkaman 704 appears to be setting up for an overtake on Nukembukem, with a strategic line into the corner, while both drivers are maintaining speed and aggression. Meanwhile, Polokastanin and Amy are holding their ground, but will need to defend against the incoming challenge. Tenkaman 704 and Nukembukem have advanced to Plower after successfully overtaking Rizaldi Adha and Maya, who are now in 5. Meanwhile, Rizaldi Adha and Maya managed to pass La Croissant 1980 and Ujeon 7, who are now in overtakes, following their own overtakes of Harizri and Issy 1212. The positions are shifting quickly as drivers capitalize on openings. Captain Potato and Paradox have significantly closed the gap to Riverside and Aminsan by 14 seconds, intensifying the competition for the lead. Snako 515 and Iniesta have successfully moved up to P13, after overtaking Bobardo, who has now dropped to 14. Meanwhile, Bobardo have made an impressive maneuver to overtake Waintree 94 and Sabina 27, reclaiming some positions. The race dynamics continue to shift as drivers jockey for position. Captain Potato and Paradox have significantly reduced the gap to Riverside and Aminsan, now down to 2.2 seconds. They are maintaining a strong pace and could be setting up for an overtaking maneuver soon. Riverside and Aminsan will need to defend their positions as both rivals seem determined to make a move. The dynamics of the race are shifting with this tightening pack. Duff Dad and Era 40 are making significant progress, narrowing the gap to Zygo 22 and Cat TV by 33.8 seconds. Meanwhile, the battle for third place is heating up, with Paulo Costanin and Amy in a Fiat X19 Dallara closely contesting against Ten Cominin 74 and New Cambokim in the Ford Falcon 72. The race dynamics are shifting as these positions evolve. Rizaldi, Ada and Maya are gaining momentum, reducing the gap to Okayoki 3 and Exigi by 9.4 seconds. La Croissant 1980 and Uyuj John 7 are also catching up, closing in on Rizaldi, Ada and Maya by 5.7 seconds. Paulo Costanin and Amy have made a significant move into P2, successfully overtaking Tancomana 704 and New Camboco. The dynamics of the race are shifting rapidly, with multiple contenders tightening their positions. Perpetuum and 1999 September have significantly narrowed the gap to Rizaldi, Ada and Maya, now trailing by just 36.8 seconds. Their pace is increasing as they work together, showing a solid performance in their strategy. The dynamics of the race are shifting as they close in on the leaders. La Croissant 1980 and Uyuj John 7 have successfully moved up to power after overtaking Okayoka 3 and Exigi. The maneuver was smooth, showcasing excellent timing and positioning. The current top positions are now tightening as the race progresses. Across 1980 and Oyeon 7, in their Ford Mustang GTS, are currently locked in a tight battle for power against Okayoke 3 and X-Figgy, who are piloting the classic Holden Monaro 73. As they approach the first turn, La Croissant 1980 attempts an inside move on Ujeon 7, but is unable to make it stick. Meanwhile, Okayoke 3 and X-Figgy are keeping a close watch from behind, ready to capitalize on any mistakes. The Mustangs are slightly ahead, but the Monoros are gaining ground, setting up for a potential overtake on the main straight. The tension is palpable as they head into the next corner. Okayoke 3 and Isigi in the Holden Monaro 73 are currently side by side with Hugud 3 and Iseon 12 in the Ford Mustang GT as they approach the hairpin turn. Okayoke 3 makes a slight move left to gain an advantage, while Ekfigi remains tight on the inside line. Hugud 3 is attempting to use the slipstring to their advantage, trying to pull alongside. As they exit the turn, Okayoke 3 manages to edge ahead into 5 with a solid maneuver, while Exigi holds off Hugud 3, who is now battling fiercely with Isuman 12 for 7. The dynamics in this section of the race are heating up as all 4 cars jockey for position. Three next figure now just 1.8 seconds behind Tenkamin and 704, and Nukemba Kem, continuing to close the gap. In Seven, Grenijeb and Nominal Pnuknight have successfully overtaken Rizaldi Adha and Maya, who have dropped to Pate. Meanwhile, Rizaldi Adha and Maya have moved ahead of Laquason, 1980, and Iuzjum 7, to secure their position in Pate. The race is tightening up with these dynamic movements. Polo Kostanin is currently in pursuit of Waziri Sky and Just Jazik, reducing the distance by 2.1 seconds. The gap is tightening as they continue to push. Meanwhile, Zygote 22 and Cat TV are also making gains on Gary No Name, closing that gap by 2.3 seconds. This dynamic is creating a more competitive field as we move deeper into the race. Paulo Costanine and Amy are currently battling Tenkaminen 704 and Nukembakum for the second position. The Fiat X19 Dallara is closely trailing the Ford Falcon. 72. As they navigate through the turns, Paulo Costanine and Amy attempt an overtake on the inside, but are unable to fully secure the position. Gankanin 74 and Nukembakum hold their ground, maintaining a slight edge. There's a tight corner coming up which could provide another opportunity for an overtake. The tension is palpable as they approach that turn. Duff Dad is currently leading the battle for P20, closely followed by Area 40, who is making a strong push on the inside. Cassishuk is right on their tail, looking for an opening to overtake. Cedric is also in the mix, trying to capitalize on any mistakes from the frontrunners. It's a tight pack as they enter the final corner, with Duff Dad maintaining his position but under heavy pressure from Air 40. Cassishuk attempts a move on the outside but can't quite make it stick. Cedric looks poised to capitalize if any of them slip up. This battle is heating up with every lap. Tenkamenen 74 and Nukembakum have successfully moved up to P2, executing a well-timed overtake on both Paulo Costanine and Amy, who have now dropped to power. The battle for position is heating up as the drivers adjust their strategies. Paulo Costanine has successfully overtaken Tenkamenen 704 and Nukembakum, moving into P2. This shift in positions indicates a strong performance from Paulo Costanine as they continue to push towards the front of the pack. The current leader remains ahead, while the battle for P3 intensifies between Tenkamenen 704 and Nukembakum, who are closely trailing each other. Kamikaze 38 is currently leading the pack, but the man is making significant progress, reducing the gap to Kamikaze 38 and Edelbach by approximately 589.6 seconds. Tenkamenen 700 and Nukembakum are also closing in on Zygote 22 and Cat TV, with a gap reduction of about 578.1 seconds. The race dynamics are tightening as we head further into the laps. Okayoki 3 is currently in P3, closely followed by Xfiggy in the Holden Monaro 73. Both drivers are maintaining a tight formation as they navigate the corners. Meanwhile, Kamikaze 38 and Edelbock in the Ford Falcon 72 are pushing hard from behind, looking for an opportunity to overtake. As they approach the straight, Okayoki 3 makes a defensive move to block Xfiggy's advance on the inside. Kamikaze 38 is gaining ground, utilizing the slipstream effectively, but still trailing slightly behind. Edelbock seems to be strategizing for a possible late braking maneuver to capitalize on any mistakes from the leading duo. The race dynamics are intensifying as the four cars remain tightly packed in this battle for P3. Gabada has successfully moved up to P11, executing an overtaking maneuver on both Snaku 515 and Iniska. Meanwhile, Tankamani 704 and Nukim Bakum have advanced to P18 after passing Zago 22 and Cat TV 20. The race dynamics are shifting as positions change swiftly. Nearson and Ansan have successfully maneuvered into P13, overtaking Perpetuum and 1999 September. Meanwhile, Perpetuum and 1999 September have also gained positions, moving up to 13 after overtaking Captain Potato and Paradox. In response, Captain Potato and Paradox have moved to 15, having overtaken Patent Tanker and Shipbroman. The race is showing dynamic shifts in positions as competitors push for better placements. Duff Dad and Air 40 are on the charge, steadily closing in on Zygoto 22 and Cat TV, reducing the gap to 37.4 seconds. In the meantime, a fierce battle is unfolding for P11 between Snakuf of 115 and Imiska in their Porsche 904 and Weintra 94, along with Sabin at 27 in the Shelby GT 350. The drivers are neck and neck, showcasing some intense racing dynamics as they jostle for position. The race continues to evolve as Duff Dad and Air 40 keep up the pressure on the leaders. Kamikaze 38 and Edelbock in the Ford Falcon 72 are locked in a tight battle for third place against Okayoki 3 and Isfigi in the Holden Monaro 73. Kamikaze 38 is currently holding the inside line as they approach the hairpin turn, while Edelbach looks for an opportunity to overtake on the outside. Oke 3 is right on their tail, looking to capitalize on any mistakes from the Falcon drivers. Iksigi maintains a defensive position, keeping close but not yet making an attempt. The tension is palpable as they navigate through the turns, with positions remaining unchanged for now, but the dynamic is certainly heating up. Ten coming in 704 and Nukembukum currently hold the lead. But Zygote 22 and Cat TV are making significant progress, reducing the gap by 6.9 seconds. The tension is building as Zygote 22 and Cat TV apply pressure, inching closer to overtake the leaders. No overtakes yet, but the dynamics are shifting rapidly as the race continues. Oke 3 and X30 have successfully moved into P3, executing a well-timed overtake on both Kamikaze 38 and Edelbach. Currently, they are maintaining their pace as they head into the next turn. Meanwhile, Kamikaze 38 is in 4, trying to regain momentum. Edelbach is in 5, looking to find an opportunity for a counter overtake. The race dynamics are shifting as we enter the next segment. Lecroson 1980 and Ujujon 7 are gaining on Kamikaze 38 and Edelbach, reducing the gap by 36.8 seconds. Zygote 22 and Cat TV are also closing in on Gary, narrowing the distance by 8.2 seconds. The race is tightening up as drivers push for position. Rizaldi Adha and Maya have significantly reduced the gap to Greninjib and Nominal Knupnight by 2.1 seconds. Both cars are now within striking distance as they approach a tight corner. The tension is building as Rizaldi and Maya prepare for a potential overtake. Meanwhile, Greninjib and Nominal Knupnight will need to defend their positions effectively to maintain their lead. Tenkaman in 704 and Nukembukem have significantly reduced the gap to Patton Tanker and Shipraman, now just 2.1 seconds behind. The tension is rising as they approach a tight corner, and it looks like an overtake could be imminent if they maintain this pace. The battle for position is intensifying as they enter the next sector. Rizaldi Ada is gaining on Greninjit and nominal Nuke-Knight, reducing the gap by 2.1 seconds. Meanwhile, Tenkamin 704 and Nukembokum are also closing in on Pattern Tanker and Shipbroman, achieving the same 2.1 second reduction in their distance. The race is tightening up as these competitors make their moves. Tenkamin in 704 and Nukembokum have successfully decreased the gap to Pattern Tanker and Shipbroman by 2.2 seconds. They are now within striking distance, setting up an interesting potential overtake in the upcoming laps. The pressure is on for Pattern Tanker and Shipbroman as they maintain their positions. Currently, Greninjit and nominal Nuke-Knight in their Chevrolet Corvair are locked in a close battle with Rizaldi Adha and Maya, driving the Holden Renaro 73 for the 5th position. The competition is tight as they jostle for position. Meanwhile, Tenkamin 704 and Nukembokum are making significant progress, reducing the gap to Pattern Tanker and Shipbroman by 2 seconds, indicating a potential challenge for the lead positions ahead. The dynamics on track are shifting rapidly. Kamikaze 38 and Edelbach continue to close the gap on Rizali Adha and Maya, now just 6.3 seconds behind. Greninjit and nominal Nuke-Knight have successfully moved into 5 after overtaking both Rizali Adha and Maya. The battle is intensifying as positions shift further up the field. Captain Potato and Paradox are swiftly closing in on Narasol and Amundsen, reducing the gap by 12.7 seconds. Kamikaze 38 and Edelbach have successfully advanced to 6 after overtaking Rizaldi Adha and Maya. Bobardo has also made progress, now in P12, after passing both Wayne Train 94 and Sabine 27. Race dynamics are intensifying as positions shift. Tenkamin 704 and Nukembokum are effectively closing the gap on Captain Potato and Paradox, reducing the distance by 5.6 seconds. As they maintain their pace, the battle for position intensifies. Captain Potato and Paradox need to defend their positions as the pressure mounts from behind. Lacroix on 1980 and Eugen 7 have successfully closed the gap to Riverside, Adha and Maya by 5.9 seconds, indicating a strong push in their performance. Meanwhile, Anonymous 93 and Sirayambot are also making strides, reducing their distance to Kazashuk and Sidrik by 2.7 seconds. The race dynamics are shifting as these pairs aim for strategic overtakes. Waintra 94 and Sabina 27 are rapidly closing in on Snaku 515 and Iniska, reducing the gap to 6 seconds. Meanwhile, Polokostanin and Amy are gaining on Waziriskai and Dusjazik, cutting their deficit by 2.9 seconds. Gobado has made a significant move, advancing to P11 after overtaking both Snaku 515 and Iniska Det. Sayo 22 and Cat TV are currently in a tight battle for position as Duff Dad and Air 40 have significantly closed the gap. They are now just 37.7 seconds behind the leaders. The dynamics are shifting as Duff Dad and Air 40 are making tactical moves to position themselves for an overtake. Saigwa 22 and Cat TV will need to defend their positions carefully as the race progresses. Anonymous Ninety 3 and Sirayambot have reduced the gap to Kazashuk and Sidrik by 5.9 seconds, indicating a strong push from behind. Meanwhile, Polokostanine and Amy are also gaining ground on Waziriaskai and Dusjazik, closing that distance by 3.6 seconds. In terms of position changes, Hugo 3 and Isilmi 1212 have successfully moved up to 8th place after overtaking Lacroix 1, 1980, and Uhus John 7. The dynamics are shifting as cars jockey for better positions on the track. Kamikaze 38 and Edelbach have significantly decreased the gap to Okayoki 3 and Xthigi, now just 14 seconds behind them. The man has executed a clean overtake on both Okayoki 3 and Xthigi, moving into P3 Daya. Meanwhile, Kamikaze 38 and Edelbach continue to push forward, maintaining their pursuit. Naiba and Suzanne Greenberg are gaining on Anonymous 93 and Sirayambot, now only 438.2 seconds behind. The battle for P12 is heating up with Snaku 515 and Iniska in their Porsche 904, closely contesting Waintra 94 and Sabini 27 in the Shelby GT 350. The positions are tight as they jostle for an advantage. Bobado has made significant progress, reducing the gap to Rizaldi Adha and Maya by 7-9 seconds. Currently he is in pursuit, gaining ground as they navigate through the turns. Rizaldi Adha maintains a slight lead over Maya, but Bobado's speed could change the dynamics shortly if he continues this pace. The positions are tightening as they approach the next sector. Okayoki is currently in pole, and East Figgy has significantly closed the gap by 2.1 seconds. Sneko 515 and Eniska, both in a Porsche 904, are engaged in a tight battle with Wayne 394 and Sabine 27, who are driving a Shelby G350 for P12. The dynamics in that group are heating up as they jostle for position. Naiba and Suzanne Greenberg are gaining on Anonymous Ninity 3 and Sir Ironbot, reducing the gap significantly by 434.9 seconds. The dynamics are shifting as they approach the halfway mark of the race. Naiba seems to be in a strong position, utilizing optimal racing lines while Suzanne Greenberg is maintaining steady acceleration. Anonymous Ninity 3 and Sir Ironbot need to respond quickly to hold their positions as the pressure builds. Patton Tanker and Shipbroman are making significant progress as they close in on Wayne 24 and Sabinette 27, reducing the gap by 2.2 seconds. The dynamics of the race are shifting as they strategize for potential overtakes. Currently, Wayne 94 holds the lead, but with the pace that Patton Tanker and Shipbroman are setting, an overtaking attempt could be imminent. The tension is building as we watch the distance close further. Nida and Susanna Greenberg are gaining on Anonymous Ninity 3 and Siriron Bot, narrowing the gap significantly. The distance is now down to 432.9 seconds as they execute a series of precise maneuvers. Meanwhile, Anonymous Ninity 3 maintains a steady pace, but Siriron Bot seems to be struggling with tire grip in the corners. The dynamic between these four cars is intensifying as Naibi and Suzanne Greenberg push harder to close that distance. Gary No Name continues to close the gap on 10 km 704, and Nukem Buckham, now just 39.5 seconds behind. In the midfield, Lakwarson 1980 and Uyujon 7 have moved up to 7 after successfully overtaking Hergood 3 and Ision 1212. The battle for positions remains intense as the race progresses. Katsushok and Cedric are currently holding steady in positions 3 and 4, but Naibe and Suzanne Greenberg are rapidly closing in on them, reducing the gap by 421.5 seconds. Hardiozai, 1212, have advanced to position 7 after overtaking Rizaldi Adha and Maya. Meanwhile, Rizaldi Adha and Maya have also moved up to position 8, successfully passing 1980 and Yuzjon 7. The battle for positions is intensifying as the race progresses. Sneku 515 and Iniska are currently locked in a tense battle for 11th place, both behind the wheel of their Porsche 904s. Meanwhile, Wayne 94 and Sabine 27, driving a Shelby GT 350, are also vying for that position, resulting in a tight 4-car contest. Teng Kamanin 704 and Nukem Boken are gaining momentum as they close the gap on Captain Potato and Paradox by 2.2 seconds, putting them in striking distance. The dynamics in these sections of the race are heating up, with multiple cars in contention for critical positions. Wayne 94 and Sabina 27 have just made a solid move, climbing into Polivan after successfully overtaking Sniku 515 and Iniska. The maneuver was clean, showcasing excellent coordination between the two cars. The battle for position continues to heat up as they push forward in the pack. Naiba and Suzanne Greenberg are gaining momentum, reducing the distance to Anonymous 93 and Sir Ironbot by 37.2 seconds. Meanwhile, Snukufa 15 Kininiska have made a notable advancement into P11 after successfully overtaking Waintra 94 and Sabine 27. The dynamics of the race are shifting as these teams push forward. Sneku 515 and Iniska in their Porsche 904 are currently engaged in a tight battle for P11 against Waintra 94 and Sabine 27, who are both piloting a Shelby G3 150. The intensity is palpable as they jockey for position. Meanwhile, Gary No Name is steadily closing the gap on 10 km 7 for 14, and Nukembukum, reducing the distance by 2.1 seconds. This could set up an interesting dynamic as the race progresses. Kamikaze 38 and Edelbock have successfully overtaken the driver from Team Quark Express, moving them into P3 toy. Gobardo has advanced to P9 after executing overtakes on both La Croissant 1980 and Used Jaune 7. Kamikaze 38 and Edelbock are locked in a tight battle for P3, both driving the Ford Falcon 72. The man in the Alpine A110 1800s is applying pressure from behind. Kamikaze 38 briefly pulls ahead, but Edelbock slips into the inside line at the next corner, taking advantage of the tighter turn to gain some ground. The man continues to close the gap, looking for an opportunity to overtake either of them as they navigate through the chicane. Positions remain unchanged, but the tension is palpable. Gary No Name has significantly reduced the gap to Tenkamene 704 and Nukembukum by 2.1 seconds. Tenkamene 704 remains in third place, while Nukembukum holds on to second. The pace is intensifying as Gary No Name continues to gain ground, making this an interesting dynamic as they approach the next turn. Positioning is crucial now for all three drivers as they prepare for potential overtaking opportunities. While Augustine and Amy continue to close the gap on Wazirius Guy and Just Jazik, now just 3.4 seconds behind. Meanwhile, Okayoki 3 has made a strong move, overtaking the car from Team Quark Express to secure power, while Exigi follows closely in 5. The dynamics are shifting as positions are being challenged throughout the field. Gleningjeb and Nominov Nupnaik have successfully reduced the gap to the leader by 2.2 seconds, indicating a strong push for the front. Meanwhile, Nirasolin and Aminsand are engaged in a tight battle with Perpetuum and 1999 September for 14th position. Nirasol and Aminsand are in a Shelby GT3 350. showcasing strong acceleration, while Perpetuum and 1999 September, in their Crosser Valiant Charger, are holding their ground, making this an exciting duel in the mid-pack. The man has successfully moved up to Pafauer, executing a clean overtake on both Kamikaze 38 and Edelbopke. The maneuver was precise, showcasing excellent timing and strategy. Kamikaze 38 and Edelbach have dropped to 5 and 6, respectively. The race dynamics are shifting as positions continue to change rapidly. Kamikaze 38 and Edelbach are currently holding the top spots, but Green Ninja and Nominal Nuke Knight are aggressively closing the gap, now just 3.6 seconds behind. In the midfield, Hugo 3 and Isiona 1212 have advanced to P7 after successfully overtaking Rizaldi, Adha and Maya. Patton Tanker and Shipbroman have also made progress, moving into P12 by passing Snicker 515 and Eniska. The race dynamics are shifting with each lap as cars jockey for position. Okioki 3 and Ixigi are gaining on Polokostanian and Amy, reducing the gap by 43.2 seconds. Meanwhile, La Croissant 1980 and Ujudon 7 have successfully overtaken Bobardo, moving up to position 9. The dynamics in the mid-pack are tightening as these drivers push for better placements. Saigo 22 and Cat TV are making significant progress, narrowing the gap to Gary No Name from Team No Name Racing by 2.3 seconds, indicating they are gaining momentum. Meanwhile, Anonymous Ninity 3 and Sir Ironbolt are also closing in on Kazushuk and Cedric, reducing that distance by 2.2 seconds. Both pairs are showing strong pace as they push forward in the race. Captain Potato and Paradox have successfully advanced to 15, after overtaking Tamkaminen 700 and Nukembokem. In response, Tenkamen 7 and Nukembokem have also made a move, jumping up to 16 by passing Patton Tanker and Shipbroman. The race is tightening as positions shift in the midfield. Currently, Gary No Name from Team No Name Racing is making significant progress as he closes the gap on Patent Tanker and Shipperman. He has reduced the distance by 38.1 seconds. The positioning shows that Gary is in a strong pursuit, indicating a potential overtaking scenario if this pace continues. Patent Tanker and Shipperman will need to defend their positions carefully, as the race dynamics shift with Gary's impressive speed. Tenkaminen 704 and Nukembukem have successfully reduced the gap to Captain Potato and Paradox by 2 seconds, indicating a strong pace as they approach the front of the pack. Tenkaminen 74 is showing impressive speed in the corners, while Nukembukem maintains a consistent line, positioning themselves for a potential overtake. Captain Potato and Paradox will need to defend their positions effectively to hold off this challenge. Tenkaminen 704 and Nukembukem are gaining on Captain Potato and Paradox, reducing the gap by 4.1 seconds. Meanwhile, Gary No Name is also making progress, closing in on Patent Tanker and Shipperman by 2.1 seconds. The race is tightening up as the competitors push to catch each other. As we resume the live updates, Green Ninja and Nominal Knoop Knight have successfully moved up to 5, after executing a smooth overtake on the car from Team Quark Express. Their positioning now puts them in a strong position, as they continue to push forward in the race. The dynamics at the front are heating up with this change. Sneeko 515 and Iniska have successfully moved up to Pen, executing clean overtakes on Perpetuum and 1999 September. As a result, Perpetuum and 1999 September have dropped back to P11 after being overtaken by them, as well as Waintre 94 and Sabina 27. The dynamics in the midfield are tightening as positions shift. The positions have shifted as Tenkaminen 704 and Nukembukem have made gains, now sitting in P12 after successfully overtaking Bobada. Meanwhile, Patent Tanker and Shipperman have advanced to 15, getting past Mirasol and Amansundechi. The race is heating up with these strategic moves. Zyger 22 and Cat TV are both gaining on Gary No Name, reducing the gap to 2.2 seconds. Idler 22 is showing impressive speed in the turns, while Cat TV is utilizing the straights effectively. The dynamic between these three cars is intensifying as they approach the next corner. It will be interesting to see if Zygo 22 attempts an overtake on Gary No Name soon. Tenkaminin 704 and Nukembokum are making significant progress, reducing the distance to Perpetuum and 1999 Setembro by 2.1 seconds. They are gaining momentum as they approach the next turn, indicating a potential challenge for position. Meanwhile, Perpetuum maintains its pace but will need to respond quickly to fend off the advancing duo. The dynamics of the race are shifting as they close in. Hey New Texan. Hearty Popper, welcome back to the racetrack. Buckle up, because things are about to get wild with these AI drivers. Racing car dashing away, enjoy the ride. Kamikaze 38 and Edelbock are currently gaining on Okayoki 3 and Xfiggy, reducing the gap by 2.2 seconds. Meanwhile, Zygoda 22 and Cat TV are also making progress, closing the distance to Captain Potato and Paradox by 3.5 seconds. Both pairs are showing strong performance as they push to catch their respective targets. Hag 3 and Isione 1212 are indeed making significant progress, as they've reduced the gap to the leader by 2 seconds. Their pace is noticeably quicker, indicating a potential challenge for the current leader. It will be interesting to see if they can maintain this momentum and attempt an overtake in the upcoming corners. The dynamics of the race are shifting as they continue to close in.
Is that a podium, boys? Is that a podium? That's a podium. Yeah.
Thanks everyone. Great race today. Party popper and big shootout to all the drivers. Let's keep the hype going. Who do you think will win the next race?